And that's the last game before the All-Star break as our New Jersey Devils fall to the Tampa Bay Lightning. What was that? 6-3 technically there by the end. Two of those empty net goals, which I don't ever care about. A lot to talk about in this one. First period, I'm just going to go ahead and start there. Then it's all the negatives of the second period, and then a lot of positives, and one really big negative there in the third. So, first period overall, I thought was pretty good. Played Tampa neck and neck. They did have a slight shot edge, but I did feel like we had a few good chances, even if not all of them ended up directly on net. VTech had some pretty good saves, although nothing super highlight reel there in the first. In the second, I thought he had some of his best play, and unfortunately, it was some of our skaters' worst. And then he continued that on into the third. As far as the first goes, I actually felt like Bratt struggled a little bit with his puck control in the first period. Second period, the entire skating group was struggling out there, and then I thought Bratt had a very, very strong third period. Yeah, first, I don't think there was too much else to say. Was we just played a smart, structured, defensive type game. We had our chances, but didn't really outstretch ourselves, chasing it at all, and went to the locker room, nothing, nothing. Vassy didn't have to make any super, super highlight reel saves either. It was just a fairly check. Um, each move was checked fairly well by both teams. And, you'll kind of take that there on the road in Tampa against a very healthy, fully stacked, firing at all cylinders Tampa team. Then the second period came along. Now, in the first, I think I'll throw this in here as well. We had multiple power plays we needed to kill. Yeah, we only had the one power play, which did not look super great, but at least our penalty kill kept the best power play as of late off the board. One of the few positives as far as the special teams did go, because the 5-on-5 here in the second was atrocious, awful. I mean, we got just absolutely battered and beaten down. My reading between the lines on that one is it was the longer change, and our bottom pairing defenseman, and then scattered even throughout the lineup, we had just a lot of AHL guys, and I really just think it was icings on top of pucks that made it down the ice where you had to change and then they're right back in your zone and we couldn't break back out. It was just basically a full cycle of when we could break it out, it didn't get in super deep. So maybe not a full line change. You got tired legs out there and it just kind of compounded and compounded and compounded. But we know that it's not like it took super long for that first goal to go in. What was it? Just over a minute. Now, from the broadcast, they had called out Timo as having an absolutely brutal, atrocious board play. I watched the replay a couple times, at least when that was initially available. It doesn't show anything with Timo on the boards, so I'm going to go ahead and give it to the professionals there that very specifically were calling this out. He was benched afterwards as well, so clearly the coaches agreed. So likely that is the biggest fault in that play leading up to it. But I also got to put a little bit of fault there on Kevin Ball. We're going to talk about him a few times in this one where he kind of just stopped skating right at the bottom of the circle after the switch in defensive coverage. If he would have just full power charged towards the net instead of even that half second of standing still, he is on top of the guy who got the tap in for the first goal. And, maybe he doesn't save it, but, maybe he does. So that was very unfortunate. The broadcasters, commentators, Sal, Dano, and the coaching staff put the blame on Timo. So obviously there is something there. But that play by Ball, that's what I was able to actually see. And, you just want to see a little bit more motor there at the end. Then it goes to the second goal. Now, both of these first goals were against the Nico line. The first one with Timo on it, the second one with Palat on it. Thankfully, that line ended up scoring too to bring it back to a much more interesting game for us. So they kind of made up for it there, but it was their line that was on the ice for it. Although obviously the first one, we're putting a bit on Timo. The second one, I'm putting a bit on, again, kind of defense. But this really was mostly, as far as the actual shot that went in the play in the immediate seconds leading up to it, was not too big of a deal. You can maybe say VTech has to have that rebound, but a guy jamming your pads right there in the front. We also have to play him being able to lift the puck. It's not the easiest puck to hold the rebound on. And maybe then you want to put it on Marino for not tying up the stick a bit. But where I put the blame is maybe my memory is escaping me here. So if I'm misremembering which defenseman it was, please correct me in the comments. But I think again it was kind of Ball who went for a play back around the net and basically handcuffed his teammate there, allowing Hagel, I think it was, to steal the puck right back, which caused the chaos, which allowed the cycle to continue, kept us hemmed into the zone, which then led to the, I think it was Hedman shot from the point, which didn't fully get through, got deflected in, then the tap, all for the rebound, recoup, and goal, 2-0. We did end up scoring. Made it a bit more interesting to make it 2-1. We brought it back into 1 multiple times in this one. First goal was by Palat. They called it on the broadcast, so I'll agree with them here. Nico, I think, was shooting for the rebound there. Perfect placement, right to Palat, tap in on the rebound goal. Love to see that there for them. Love to see that for Palat. I think it was his first goal against Tampa in Tampa. So that is a cool moment for him and was feel good for us for a little bit until I think it was about a minute or so later when Stamkos made it 3-1. Now, with the Stamkos goal, that was the one where, again, you're kind of hoping that they can tie up a stick, not get hemmed in. But Vitek makes a bunch of really great saves there. Vitek definitely kept us in it a little bit, but it's also, I mean, he made a lot of really good saves. It's hard to be like make one more in this one. I've said that in other games and stuff. This one's probably not the one for it. So, I've yeah. We had second goal. I'm just remembering the goals in my head and so sad about the fourth one coming up. But we made it a 1-goal game again off of a great, basically individual play there by Bratt. He passed the puck off the wall to himself, beating one guy, beat the defenseman, got the shot, trickles in. Shout out to Nico, who basically got the not touching the puck assist on this one when he lifted the Tampa Bay player's stick, who otherwise I think would have been really close, but I think would have possibly gotten the slow rolling puck before it crossed the line. Nico stick lift, doesn't touch the puck, puck goes in, Bratt goal. Again, feeling really good about it until Ball, instead of going right up the boards to Mercer, passes the puck right to the middle. Yes, Dowling was there, but that was a hard pass to reel in for the guy, and it goes right to point, and he's not missing from there. That is his house right there in the middle of the ice. There's nothing Vitek's doing on that one. And then we did make it interesting. Pulled the goalie to Foley in front, gets another goal. You do like to see that for him. We make it 1 goal again, and then just could not get set up again with the pulled goalie. Luke's pass gets completely red, empty net goal. Then it was just kind of jumbled. They get another one, and that was really the game. It was probably one of Ball's worst games of the entire season, bar none. But I'm really going to leave it there at that one. We still have games in hand. I said in the last one, Flyers are going to fall off completely. I think the Islanders are still a fraud. Capitals are still a fraud. Penguins are maybe, with Letang, Muck, and Crosby, especially the way Crosby's playing, hard for me to fully count them out like I am doing to the Caps, Islanders, and Flyers. But I think we still are going to end up in that top 3 for the Metro. Yes, we dropped this one. This was one we really would have liked to have because it would have put us in a very advantageous position. But we still completely control our own destiny with games in hand. So you got to take that running as hopefully with a nice long stretch, I think it's 9 days here, off, get a little all-star breakthrough. We'll see Jack Hughes maybe doing Jack Hughes thing. There was an interview that came out with him that from the sounds of it, he will absolutely definitely be back for the Stadium Series. He will definitely do at least the drafting with his brother for the All-Star game. Really wants to play in the All-Star game, but that's going to be based on how he's feeling day of. From the sounds of him, it's his call. But it doesn't sound like he's going to do the skills competition unless he's feeling like $1 million. So don't expect that one from Jack, but it sounds like he really wants to play in the game, so we'll see. Then from that, all has me very optimistic that Jack will be back in a Devils jersey playing in the regular season for us come the end of the All-Star break. Siegenthaler should be on the horizon as well. Nosek sounds like he's getting pretty close. And if we can get a bit healthier, Holla will be back. Obviously, that was another major piece missing from the lineup. Not injury, not illness. He's having a kid, so congratulations to him and his wife. That is great for them. He'll be back, obviously, and with a more so healthy, as obviously won't be fully healthy with Dougie out for the regular season. uh, but a more so healthy team. It will give us the depth, slot guys in a lot more appropriately, and hey, maybe we get a Fitzy move here over the All Star break, as definitely need a little bit of help somewhere on that back end goalie situation, something because yeah, I think Vitex actually had a decent stretch here in the year 2024. Not the best, mind you. He still has had some pretty big stinker of games as well. But Dawes has had some stinkers. Schmidt's still not really clutching it down in Utica. So yeah, let's go ahead and all breathe, take a nice break here, get to the other side of All Star break, get our best player back in Jack Hughes, and really go on a run. So gonna go ahead and call it here. Maybe if I'm feeling up to it, we'll see what's happening. Do a nice deep dive special edition video one day during this 9 day break. But also probably gonna enjoy a little bit of time off myself. So yeah, it's gonna go ahead and call it here, guys. As always and forever, let's go Devils.